Right, an exciting day because today we're looking at the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is the very tippy top of this year's iPhone line. This one is in black titanium. It also comes in white titanium, natural titanium, which is sort of more of a silvery color, and desert titanium, which is kind of like a goldy sort of earthy tones. So plenty of selection there. It's the toughest titanium on a phone on the market, apparently, grade 5. Yeah, it's tough and it's light, which is good because this is quite a big phone in the hand. If you're not a large phone lover, you might want to look at the 16 Pro instead of the Pro Max, because they are essentially the same phone, other than the that large 6.9-inch screen display, and of course you get a bigger battery in this phone as well. This year the cameras are the same. They weren't last year. You've got a 48 megapixel main shoot a fusion camera there for the main shooter, 48 megapixel ultra wide, which can also be used for macro shots, great macro shots, and there's a 5 times telephoto lens there, with some pretty whizzy prism technology, which takes great shots from a distance. We'll talk more on that shortly, but basically, yeah, with a combination of those lenses, depending on what you're shooting, you've got about 7 different sort of virtual lenses that you're picking from those 3 different sensors. So that's pretty great. Now, what's with the people who are complaining in reviews and online that are saying things like, what's the point of buying the new iPhone? It's just the same as the last iPhone because Apple Intelligence hasn't arrived yet. I don't know what they're talking about. They obviously haven't picked up the phone, looked at the phone, used the phone. There's a heck of a lot of interesting stuff going on here. I'm sure Apple Intelligence will be exciting when it arrives. New Zealand's one of the first regions to be getting that, and we'll probably do a whole review on those cool tricks when they do arrive. But in the meantime, you've got iOS 18, which has a lot of cool features. For example, how cool do my red tinted icons look? And that's really easy to set up and do. Change those themes to your choice. I'm discovering new features all the time with iOS 18. Stuff like my mum left a voicemail for me while I was recording a video earlier, and then when I tapped on it, not only did it play it back, but it transcribed it, so I could read it instead of listening to it as well. I didn't even know that was a feature, but it just did it for me. There's just that, and that's just the software, of course. There are some new and exciting things with the hardware as well. So if we look on this side of the phone, you'll see above the volume controls we've got that action button that they introduced on the Pro phones last year. So if you don't know what that is, that's just your customizable shortcut. So you can fire off your favorite app, your favorite timer, your favorite workout. In my case,
go for it. Particularly if they
so
live
so that's
down the road.
podcasts.
Like, I mean,
For
home
me,
is where the heart is.
that's what I do a lot with my phone. This year, you can even instantly Shazam that song that you're listening to. You can make that as part of your action button, which is great because in the past, you have to open your phone, figure out where Shazam is, and by that stage, the song might be finished. That's all cool. But it's really on this side where the action is really happening. Because we've got the normal power button here, but we've also got this new button here. This is the camera control button. So if I just turn the phone around so you can see, and I push that camera control button, you'll see that immediately opens the camera, and yes, we can take a photo of my big bald head using that same button. So we've seen shortcuts to the camera on other kinds of phones in the past, and it's cool to have it on the iPhone now, but that's only a very little part of the story. Here's a video I took today when I was taking the dog for a walk. Now, it's not the actual video that I shot. It's a screen capture of me shooting the video because I wanted you to see the user interface and how that looks. So you're seeing what I was seeing when I looked at the screen. And you'll see down the bottom right-hand side there, if I do a little half press of that camera control button, a half press, then the zoom control appears on screen, and you can actually slide your finger backwards and forwards or up and down on that camera control button to zoom in and out to a fine degree. Now, my camera work was terrible. I was holding a lead, I was holding treats, I was dealing with a dog. And so you get a picture of the grass, great close up of the grass there using that 5x telephoto lens. Fantastic. Let's get back to the dog. Zoom out, zoom in. So yeah, you can do that with that camera control button. Now, of course, that works the same for photos as well. So if I just start my screen recorder here, so you can see what that looks like from my end as well. So yeah, if we hold it up this way and I do that little half press again, you can see up the top right hand there, and we can zoom right in there. Scary. So let's zoom, way out. And you can see my messy desk, which is also kind of scary. We'll get back to 1x zoom as well, and yeah, we can click that photo off if we want to. You can hold that button down to video, by the way, as well. It does a lot, this button, and in fact it does even more, because there's some other interesting features here to talk about. So if we do that little half press, but if we do a double half press, there we go, you'll see that I get shortcuts to other features. So exposure, focus, so we can do a little bokeh shot there. There's the zoom again, or we can, the camera shortcuts, and then that's changing between your different focal points, and then we get into the really interesting stuff here. So we've got tone and styles. So if we select that, and that's standard there, and this is kind of like a filter, but it's more sort of professional photography style filters than that. And so if we do that little half press again, now instead of zoom, we're flicking through the different styles, and we'll find that one I like. That's that style there. That's kind of like a sepia sort of tones to it. And what's even better than that is that if I go up to the top left-hand corner there and click on that style button, which is called Mood, I can change the exposure and the brightness and the color of that style. And then every time I go back into that to take a photo, that will be the same. Now, if you look in the top left-hand corner there, you can see a little undo button, and that puts it back to the way it was. But until I do that, every time I select, open my camera and select that style, I'll be shooting in that style, so you can have that one consistent effect, over your entire shoot. So there you go. That's the camera control button. Pretty cool. None of this would be possible without a Wizzy processor, of course. We've got the A18 Bionic Pro chip in the Pro phones. It's an A18 chip in the standard iPhone 16s this year as well. So they've really gone all out with the iPhone 16s, and we'll talk about those in a week or two when I do my iPhone 16 review. But yeah, of course, once again, it's the fastest, most efficient phone chip that Apple has produced to date. You've got an amazing GPU on there for gaming. It runs cooler, which means that you get and more efficiently, so you get more sustained maximum performance, which is that's really fantastic. And as I say, the battery life on this Pro Max is out of this world. So as you can see, this is not just last year's phone all over again. Those are just a couple of highlights. There's so much more to have a look at. So jump online and check it out. And you can decide whether this titanium iPhone 16 Pro Max is your phone of the year.